Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of GodSaw's Turnbuckle, the wrestling podcast here on YouTube and Daily Motion. Now, in all fairness, this is more of a video podcast than it is an audio podcast, so I am working on something for down the line with a more audio side to try to expand the audience as much as I possibly can. But this episode of GodSaw's Turnbuckle is going to focus around WWE Smackdown Live on June 6, 2017. And this was a relatively decent show. I won't say it was an overall great show by any stretch of the imagination. We've been getting a lot of really good shows from SmackDown. This probably isn't one of their better ones, but it did what it needed to do going into the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and we did get some good stuff throughout the entire show to go along with it. So they start off the show. All five women who are in the Money in the Bank ladder match, they're in the ring already. Shane McMahon comes out. He cuts a promo basically pretty quickly and ends out revealing the briefcase for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, which was actually kind of cool looking. Not kind of. I thought it was a pretty good looking Money in the Bank briefcase. They decided to go with an all white with with the Money in the Bank logo there in the middle. It just kind of gave it a different little flair to it, and I thought it ended out looking pretty good in the end. So, and it also beats what they probably would have done if they'd done something like this, I'll say back in the Attitude Era, when they kind of treated the women not so favorably as they've been doing as of late. Well, as of late, over the last year and a half, 2 years now. Been almost 2 years since everything kind of turned around on that side with how they've been treating the female talent and everything in that sense. So I thought this was a good touch. I do like the aspect of the white looking briefcase and everything to go along with it. It makes it look different from the typical briefcase, and it doesn't make it feel stereotyped or anything to go along with it. Afterwards, everyone kind of pleads their case on why they're about to win the Money in the Bank ladder match. You had Carmella. You even had James Ellsworth going, talking a bit for Carmella before she gets a chance. Charlotte, then Naomi, or not Naomi, but though she does come out. But Natalya after that, Becky Lynch gets in there, and Tamina cuts her own little promo. Then Naomi comes out. Starts cutting a promo basically saying that she's ready for whomever wins this Money in the Bank contract. But before the promo fully gets going, she gets interrupted by the debut of Lana. So Lana comes out, and she is attempting, and this is kind of an interesting way that they kind of play off of Lana's debut. She comes out and starts she's trying to get Shane to make her in the Money in the Bank ladder match, which he absolutely refused to do because she's never beaten anyone, and you can even see that from everybody else. Everyone kind of starts laughing at her, just at the aspect that she hasn't proven herself yet she's coming out there to try to get an opportunity at something bigger right off the bat. So she actually gets her and Naomi have an exchange of words. They kind of get face to face. Lana says that she can beat her, and eventually everyone just kind of laughs her off, and she ends up having to storm off when she doesn't kind of get her way. This led into the 6-woman tag match, which was Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Naomi going up against Carmella, Tamina, and Natalya. It was basically a rematch of the Backlash pay-per-view. Again, decent match here. With the welcoming committee, Carmella, Tamina, and Natalya getting the victory after Lana gets involved, tripping up Naomi, and then Tamina hits her with a super kick. So, okay, they've given Tamina a win here, trying to build up some credibility going into Money in the Bank, and now Lana's getting involved, and it seems like they're going to be going some route, which we do see later in the show, with Lana going up against Naomi in some way, shape, or form. We do see that a little bit later. Matter of fact, I'll talk about that right now because it was right before the main event of the show. Naomi walks into Shane's office and basically And I liked how this one came off because I liked how the entire segment came off. It came off pretty decently. I liked the promos that they were doing beforehand, and the match itself was pretty decent. And like I said, it was a way of getting Lana going into a storyline with somebody. So Naomi walks into Shane's office, and she basically says, "I want Lana at Money in the Bank, and I'll even put my title on the line." It's like, and I like the way Shane comes off. It's like, well, you're not obligated to put that title on the line against Lana. It's like, I don't care. I'll do it. And then, of course, Shane ends up granting the match. But I like how Shane comes off there. I like how not Lana, but Naomi, a bit ticked off after what had happened and everything to go along with it. It came off decent. It came off pretty well. So also, we'll talk about backstage segments here. You had Shane McMahon walking into what would be the makeshift office area. And he walks in, and the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal trophy is just sitting there. And Mojo Rawley comes in. He starts cutting a promo. I actually like this promo. Again, I'm liking the aspect that when Mojo Rawley comes out there, he's doing the whole stay hype thing. Always hyped up, everything in that sense. But when he's cutting these promos, they're showing a subtle side, a more chilled or laid back. I won't say chilled or laid back, but like a seriousness to the character itself. He talks about how he had won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. How since Jinder Mahal had come to Smackdown, he's the only one who's beaten Jinder Mahal in any way, and he wants a chance at getting into the Money in the Bank ladder match. Which of course Shane decides, like, you know what? Okay, we'll do that, but you'll have an opportunity to get into the match by you facing Jinder Mahal, and if you win, you're in. I thought this was good. I thought this was a good promo from Mojo Rawley. He even makes mentions to that aspect that since he had won the trophy, he hasn't really been seen on SmackDown. He's almost been like an afterthought. And they even start making mention to other people such as Ty, the people who don't show up that often on the show. So I ended up liking what they did here, and maybe it kind of teases that these guys will be on the show more often somewhere down the line to go along with it. Up next was AJ Styles against Dolph Ziggler. This match was good. This was a good match, but they kind of fall under the aspect of 50-50 booking here. With AJ Styles going over. You had Dolph go over last week, AJ Styles going over here this week. And lo and behold, they allow the Styles Clash to be the finisher. So many people had kicked out of that move since he had come in. And it's always been interesting on that sense, but they have AJ go over with the Styles Clash on this one, but kind of on the 50-50 booking side of everything, where, Dolph won last week, AJ wins this week. I don't know. I thought the match was at least decent. It wasn't that long of a match, but it was decent enough. Up next was a Fashion File segment, and oh my god, this was such a good bit with the New Day and Breezango and everything in that sense. So it starts off with they're doing the film noir thing again. It starts off with Fandango coming. They cut in, and they're all looking at a bunch of different pictures. You have little nuances and everything in that sense put in there, and different things on their clipboard. So it pans into Tyler Breeze being there. He's kind of telling his story in the film noir style of everything. Fandango comes in. So he had taken the clue they had gotten from last week, the cologne that they had got. So they made the kind of assumption that it may have been the colognes, Primo and Epico. So Fandango goes off and is like, so I went to the lab, to the boys in the lab, which I found out there was no lab and no boys. So I took a taste test, and found out that it wasn't them. So the case is still open, or where they're gonna go. So they're discussing everything in that sense. All of a sudden, you cut to the New Day, and they cut to like full on color, and everything for the New Day, as they're about to go into their office, and everything in that sense, and then they enter the office, and it goes back into black and white. And I love the New Day's reaction. It's like, why is everything in black and white now? Why is it like this? And you have both Tyler Breeze and Fandango talking in that narration, film noir style, as the New Day's wanting to try to open a case with them, and they're all like, what's going on? They're just staring at us. And so it was like an aspect of they're talking in narration because they can understand each other in the narration. And then you have the New Day is like, what's going on? So they eventually get to a point of setting up where the New Day wants some information on the Usos and everything in that sense. Just good overall stuff throughout the entire thing. Just like subtle jokes everywhere. You have the whole aspect of Tyler Breeze and Fandango giving them the T-shirt that is like day one ish, but they call is H, and then you have like Big E is like, you mean ish? That's and they're like Gesundheit. Oh, okay. I think they even do a bit where they have where New Day gives them gives both Tyler Breeze and Fandango rompers. Tyler Breeze just goes off and wants to try it on, while Fandango just slams it on the ground, saying, "Oh, we're not taking bribes, anything in that sense." And it was just fun. It was just fun. I actually did enjoy this segment a lot. Up next though was Mojo Rawley going up against Jinder Mahal. This was a decent enough match. I thought this was a pretty good match. Jinder Mahal going over in the end with the Colossus. And as much as I would like to have them do more with Mojo Rawley, I'm kind of glad they're not overcrowding this Money in the Bank ladder match. You're sticking to the 6 guys. This match itself was pretty decent. Mojo did get to look good throughout a good portion of the match to go along with it. But Mahal gets the victory in the end. Mahal cuts a promo afterwards, basically on Randy Orton in his match, and coming up with that. They're kind of also getting away, though they make subtle references to the whole aspect that's supposed to be like evil foreigner or something like that. They're kind of getting away from that little by little, and you could see that in this promo this week. They were kind of just getting away from that. It wasn't like an aspect of like, oh, the Americans are gonna be going like he'll show you on this one. No, he's gonna show all the fans, all the doubters, everybody in general that he is the man, that he is, everything he's been saying he is, and everything to go along with it. I actually like the promo. I've been liking where they've been going with Jinder Mahal since he has gotten the WWE title. I like the promo this week. And the aspect that they're trying to get away from the whole evil foreigner side of everything, I think is a good way of going as well. I think it'll make the character better in the end, and maybe just try to garner heel heat no matter where he goes. And you even see that in Randy Orton's promo as well. It's like, it's not about nationality. It's about, wanting to win the match, everything, and to go along with it. He talks about, having made phone calls to try to get some information, what he should be doing against Jinder Mahal. And he throws down names like his father, Cowboy Bob Orton, and Ric Flair, Harley Race, everything in that sense. So he's playing the aspect as like, talk less, more action in the ring, and that's what's basically what he's saying is like, I don't need to say a word to Jinder Mahal. He'll understand what I'm saying when we're in the match at the pay-per-view itself. They also do show another video package of Shinsuke Nakamura. They do like using his NXT days a lot, and they also play it off. They're still playing off this whole artist thing, and it's interesting that they use painting because obviously that's their focal point of art in general is around painting. So they show a painting being made of him throughout that entire time to go along with it. Though there are, of course, as you know, many different forms of art that go along with it, but they make the focal point around that. It was a decent video package, but they use, like I said, they use a lot of his NXT stuff to go along with it. Well, in all honesty, there isn't too much yet on the main roster that they can fully use for him. So they ended out using they're still ended out using NXT stuff to go along with it. Up next was the Primo and Epico, the Colognes, going up against the New Day. This was an alright match. The match itself was fine. Kind of, New Day getting themselves over in that sense. You do get a little bit here or there for the Colognes getting some of their offense in, but this was pretty much used to build the New Day going into their match with the Usos, which the Usos come out afterwards. They cut a great promo on the New Day. Again, they're still kind of going off of this like horror film style of intensity that they're going with. They're playing off the aspect of saying that everyone's kind of paranoid. It's not paranoia, it's just the Usos and everything in that sense. I thought the promo was really good. I'm liking where the Usos are going as heels right now to go along with it. So right before the main event, you have a Sami Zayn promo. They're kind of having him, give like information on all the different guys. He ends out talking about Shinsuke Nakamura and everything to great detail in his promo. It's like what they're making him be like this overanalyzed character, and it's interesting that they haven't done it like they've been doing the last few times that they do, where he kind of just rambles on about a strategy for a match or anything. No, he's kind of giving out the information like why everybody's this, and this. And he starts talking about, what he's got to do. He gets and that he was going to be on commentary for the match with Owens and Shinsuke Nakamura. Baron Corbin comes in, beats him down, and basically says at the end of it, it's like, it looks like there's a open spot at commentary now, which he actually ends up taking. So going into the match with Kevin Owens and Shinsuke Nakamura, you have Baron Corbin out on commentary. With these two, good match. Good match between the two of them. I thought it was a good way of a good main event match for the show. Nothing spectacular, nothing too crazy going through this one. In the actual match itself, kind of basic fare. Basically, by basic fare, I mean like your typical moves that you see from these guys and everything in that sense. They don't go too far with everything in the actual match itself, but overall, fun, enjoyable match from the two of them in that sense. The only thing that and I'm going to make mention to it now because it's been a couple weeks. Why are they adding pyro noise to Nakamura's entrance? It just seems so out of place. It felt like, in NXT his entrance always seemed really good. It seemed to be right where it needed to be, but now he comes up to the main roster and someone decides to tinker with it a little bit, and it's like, oh my god, they decided to go that route with it. But yeah, I mean, overall in the end, I guess it just seems out of place with the pyro noise and everything to go along with it going to his entrance. That's just how I feel on that side. That's just kind of a little nitpicking spot or something to go along with it. But after the match, Baron Corbin, who had been on commentary throughout the entire time, drops the commentary mic, runs into the ring, and gives a wicked-looking end of days to Shinsuke Nakamura, and that's pretty much how they end the show. The end of days, like the way Nakamura sold it just looked devastating. I mean, the moves always look devastating and everything in that sense, but it felt like it looked a little bit more devastating on this one, and it came off rather well. So yeah, that is pretty much how they ended the show. They had Baron Corbin standing on the entrance ramp, reveling over his what he had just done, and they cut to the end. So overall, I thought the show was rather decent. You had some good stuff in there. The Fashion File segment was great in that sense. I'm liking where they're going with Jinder Mahal, Randy Orton. The women's Money in the Bank ladder match, I like where they're going right now as well. The Money in the Bank ladder match is kind of matches with each of the guys again, and it's, you're getting some story to it and everything in that sense, but it's kind of getting also to a point that when is Nakamura Owens going to be for that United States title? You assume after Money in the Bank or something in that sense, because now they've had Kevin Owens lose to him 3 times, so you would kind of assume a title match is going to be somewhere down the line to go along with it. So we'll see where they go with everything there. But overall, pretty good show. And yeah, that's pretty much everything for this one. I hope you of course, I'm stumbling over my words, although I felt like I've been kind of doing that throughout the entire show here. But that is everything for this episode of GodSaw's Turnbuckle. I hope you guys enjoyed everything, and have a great rest of your day. Peace out.